towards that.
But then there was the likes of Run DMC, Snow, Vanilla Ice. Did those influence your?
Run DMC, yes. I would say the groups that really made a huge impact. If you look at groups like the Rappers Delight, the Artists, the Sugarhill Gang, Malcolm McLaren with the world famous Supreme Team DJs. We look at groups such as Public Enemy.
Oh yes.
Because they delivered a very strong political message. There was the Nation of Islam. They supported hip hop in a big way. So it was kind of bringing a conscious message, but from a more sort of Afrocentric / Islamic point of view.
But is that important for you when you DJ and when you go out and do things, that you bring a message across? Is that important for you?
I think it will always be important in some form or fashion, because I think in terms of what I do, I still embrace the artistic elements of DJing, or turntablism as we call it in hip hop. So I just don't play the music, I make music with the instruments as well, through scratching, and there's all these different techniques. And with my involvement with POC, or Prophets of the City, and with BVK, there was always a message in the music, and all the other projects that I take on. If the message not outright clear, but somewhere between the lines, either in the form of the energy, the production, there's something embedded in there that will tell, I would say, the end user that there's something else happening within the musical piece, you know. So I firmly believe art, it's a blessing. It's a talent that comes from a higher power, and I feel that we have to, if we are conscious of it, we have to use it in a way that it can benefit people.
Yes.
You know, other than you just standing and moving your feet and jumping and screaming.
So you are a DJ, so you went on to do POC and BVK. Tell us about that, from going to actually like playing music to making music. How was that transition?
That was a really interesting transition though, because, you know, at the time when the state of emergency and all these things were taking place, and us being on the trains from Mitchell's Plain to town, a group of friends of ours from Lentegeur, they told us about this very interesting club in town that they go to, and I was like, you can't be serious.
It's not around anymore.
No, unfortunately not.
What was the club's name? Do you remember?
Well, I need people to listen very carefully.
Okay.
And yeah, please. The club was called Club Teasers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly. But it wasn't this club that we know today. It had nothing to do with it being the strip joint.
Okay.
So yeah, just to set the record straight.
Putting it out there.
So ultimately what happened is, you know, since the 80s, we were those kids that used to break dance on the street corners, or b-boy on the street corners, and battle each other in Lentegeur, and we used to carry our cardboard through the community and practice in front of our mom's house. And on a Saturday, we used to jump on the train and we used to go and battle on Cape Town Station. Wow. And we used to go and battle on the white side of the station, because we knew we were going to get chased away. But we were so hungry to dance and perform. Yeah. We used to bust a move quickly, and when the security and police came, we would roll up the linoleum quickly, and we would run, because we knew exactly where our next stop was going to be.
I'm laughing. I shouldn't be laughing.
Then we used to battle at the fountain in the Golden Acre, and those years it was still Garlics, and we used to go battle at Garlics. And then it's back on the train, and it's back to Mitchell's Plain. And then this group of friends told us about this venue called Club Teasers, and they said, you guys must come through and come check it out. And I was like, and they told us, well, the only thing is there's white people there. And I was like, I don't think I want to interact with white people.
Really?
Joel, where there's white people.
You're going to be chased away.
Because the only thing that I know of white people is they used to chase people down the road with guns. They used to stop my dad, and they used to stop us on a regular basis. And with the state of emergencies, we used to get beat up bad, you know, because of those things. So I was extremely intimidated and fearful of white people. And
hopefully not anymore, right?
My distance, things have changed in a big way. But anyway, getting to this club, the club was sort of very reggae and punk rock. It was rock music, and they were these goth kids. And I didn't know that kids from Mitchell's Plain went to the goth scene. And we like, what kind would this be? And then the owner, he was a Chinese gentleman called Guy, and he allowed us to do like a little b-boy demo in the club. And it became 5 minutes of a b-boy demo. Once we were done battling and doing our dance on the Grand Parade, we went to the club. We did our 5 minutes, the 5 minutes became 10 minutes, the 10 minutes became 20 minutes. Then he allowed us to DJ, and in the 80s we brought hip hop to this club scene. And that was the first scene that was completely neutral, completely integrated. Black kids, white kids, so-called colored kids, all in one space, everybody jamming to punk rock, reggae, and hip hop.
And that was during apartheid?
That was during apartheid.
That's crazy, man.
And I'm sure if the police had to catch wind of it, you know, there would have been big issues. But there was no issues. Total integration. Young girls that were supermodels back in the day, they were all at this club. And for me, it was a changed my mind completely about what's actually happening and what the potential is of our country as well.
Oh, you could see that potential.
Exactly. And with hip hop coming along and the strong Afrocentric message and the strong black conscious messages and all this that came through, that kind of led to POC. So that's kind of the birth of POC right there. One of the members in our crew, he was a activist at school. Before my whole black consciousness encounter, I just wanted to be rich and I wanted to be a superstar. And when I met this guy, his father at the recording studio, and I was like, right, this is my way in. This is how I'm going to become that, you know, that mega star.
Yeah, because you aspired to want to be something, right?
Exactly. I wanted to be like the guys in the Rapper's Delight talking about color TVs and all that. So that was like my vibe on hip hop. When I met this guy, he was talking about Steve Biko, and he was talking about Mandela, and he was talking about Oliver Tambo, and I was like, who's this people? I don't know these people. Don't talk about that. Talk about cars and swimming pools, because, you know, I got a mission over here. So that's happening. Public Enemy is happening, and all this black conscious music is coming through hip hop, and I'm like, I'm confused now.
Yeah.
Because I'm still here on my color TV that I'm looking for in my car, but you guys are talking about other stuff.
Yeah.
And as fate would have it, I ended up in the recording studio, and we were listening to all this different music, and one night something happened. I still can't explain what happened that night. You know, I can't find the words to actually articulate what happened. But we were looking for different musical samples, because, you know, we sample a lot in hip hop, and we take other records and we piece all these different musical pieces together to create a song.
Yeah.
And one night we were sitting in the recording studio in Elsie's River, and we took out this vinyl. In fact, Shaheen is his name. He took out this vinyl, he put the vinyl on the deck, dropped the needle down, and the song started. And I didn't understand this music, and the song that played was Little Boy by Abdullah Ibrahim.
Oh, yes?
Yeah, known to many as Dollar Brand.
Yeah.
Right then, it's like something came over me personally, and it's like my whole state of being, my mindset, everything changed. And we wrote a song, and the song became known as the Boksburg Blues. So that was a political song that was written right there and there. About a week later, this is the irony of all of this, somebody heard about us being busy in the studio. I'm not sure how the word got out, but then we received a call, can you guys please come and perform on Green Market Square? We ended up doing our very first performance. This was myself and Shaheen, and this was to support the end the conscription campaign. And this conscription campaign was against the government sending young white boys to fight in the military.
Oh, yes.
You know?
Yes.
So it was a similar system to what they have in Israel, practically, where they have young kids joining the military, and you got to pick up arms practically and fight for the government.
Yeah.
So that's the irony of all of that.
Wow.
But 2 or 3 months later, our first sort of official POC performance was in Salt River. And this performance was for the community, and they were doing this march against drugs and violence and gangsterism and abuse and all that. So that's kind of how POC took its shape. That's how it became conscious, it became opinionated, it became very voice. Yeah. So that's the roots of POC right there. Wow. POC then toured South Africa, we released albums.
You guys were big, yeah.
Yeah, we then ended up in the UK. We were touring the UK, and I was just completely homesick.
Yeah.
And I was like,
as you do, right? You miss South Africa. When you go away, there's nothing like South Africa, right? That's what people don't understand.
Absolutely. And I was like, we need to do something a little bit more with our language and our dialect